Welcome to Gentle Yoga. Today we're going to be using two blocks or two things that can function as blocks, a yoga strap or a belt, and a towel or a yoga blanket, as well as a chair. We're going to begin with our blocks and our blankets. And I'd like you to roll up your blanket. We're going to use it as a bolster. The way I've rolled it up, I would say it's probably going to be, once I lay down on it, it's probably going to be about 4 inches high once I compress it. You don't want it super high, but some thickness. And you're going to lay it at the back of the mat. The long edges are going to be parallel to the long edges of the mat. And then grab your blocks or pillows and sit in front of your roll, stuffing the items underneath your knees. Feet together. We'll come into reclined cobbler's pose with a slight back bend. So you're supporting your spine and the back of your head with the roll. And of course, you might need to adjust the blocks, maybe make them higher. Key here is we want to be able to relax into this posture. Arranging your arms so maybe they're alongside the body or maybe they're out in a T formation, any kind of formation that's going to help increase the broadness of your chest. If you can, just have your head supported by the roll, but of course some of us maybe it feels uncomfortable and you need to put something behind the head. That's okay if that's causing pain, put something behind the head. But without something behind the head and just having the head in line with the spine, we really get a nice opportunity to not only open up the back of the neck, but keep the throat open too. And then once you arrive, let's all just take a deep breath together. And I'd like you best you can to count each exhalation until you make it till 10. So we'll do 10 rounds of breath, just counting each exhalation and letting go of any thoughts if they arise. You can begin. And then once you've made it to 10, just let that go. And it's interesting just to notice all the thoughts that come up, or maybe you lost track of the count. That's totally normal. Our minds are so active. And that's where the practice of mindfulness can be really helpful. So habitually coming back to this present moment in the most non-judgmental way as possible, letting go of our preferences and just simply being present to what is present. So coming to be present with what sensations are present in your body, present with the pace of your breath. Nothing has to change, just being here now. And of course, present with all the thoughts that may be arising and just letting them go as they come in. Coming back to the sensation of this pose. So I'm going to offer a variation of this posture to stretch your neck. If you do have neck pain, I encourage you just to hang out like you are here, enjoying this chest opener, groin opener. If you're feeling pretty good in your neck today and you'd like to neck stretch, you're going to slowly lift your head off the roll and then bring it to the left side of the roll. Keep moving the outsides of your shoulders towards the floor and draw your chin towards your chest. And just relaxing into the posture this way. And then lifting the head back to the roll. Notice left and right side of the neck. And then to the other side. Keep drawing the chin towards the throat. Moving the outsides of the shoulders towards the mat. Soften your face and brow. Last breath here. And then lifting up the head back, return it to the roll. And now slowly help the knees together. You're going to remove your blocks. Roll to one side and remove your roll, your blanket. Come back to your back. And with the feet on the floor, the knees bent, bring your hands behind your head. So elbows bent. If this isn't accessible to you because of your arms, maybe your arms don't reach overhead, you could bring your hands to either shoulder, like crossing the hands over the arms over the heart. And then knees go left. Here you are in a little bit of a twist, very gentle twist. Exhale, firm your tummy up. Inhale, broaden your chest. And we're going to just do little baby crunches. So we're working the obliques here. These are the muscles on the sides of the trunk. So as you exhale, lifting the head and shoulders off the mat any amount, lifting them straight up, and inhale, returning head and shoulders to the mat. We're going to do some little baby crunches, a few more of them. Nice way to stretch the trunk, nice way to open up the chest. Again, if your shoulders are injured, just cross your forearms at your heart. Do two more. Returning to the mat, now knees go right. Take a moment just relaxing in this twist for just a few breaths. Your heels are in line with your tailbone. And then tummy in, little crunches. And particularly, we want to keep our low belly pulling in the area between the navel and the pubic bone. Each time we lift our heart and head, we're kind of moving it towards that left hip, the top hip. They don't have to be very big, just little crunches. Let's do two more. And then once again, open back up into cobbler's pose, reclined cobbler's pose, feet together, knees wide. Either swing the arms out into a T position or make a little halo around your head on the floor with your arms. So your body looks like the number 8. Lengthening your tailbone towards your heels. Take two more breaths like this. And then help those knees together. Extend your left leg, draw your right knee into your chest. Now try to keep both sides of your hips on the mat as you just start to try to guide the left knee towards the left armpit. So this probably won't be a very big movement. Again, that right hip is going to be on the mat, but what we're looking to do is increase uh, like find a stretch in the outer right hip. If you're familiar with the piriformis, that's kind of where we're going. And then let's do the other side. Gently draw the left knee into the chest, extend the right leg, and just pause here for a moment. Apanasana. And now guiding that knee towards the right armpit. And I like to sometimes, when I'm doing this, dig my left thumb into my left hip crease and just push it away from my face. It kind of increases the stretch. It can be quite pleasurable sometimes. Keep breathing. And then coming back through center, draw both knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Take a big breath into your back and breathe out through the mouth. For the next 2 breaths, as you hold yourself like this, either give yourself an inner smile or lift the corners of your mouth. Welcome yourself to your practice. Welcome. And then bring the feet to the floor. Knees are going to stay bent. Bring your hands to the hip points. You've got these 2 bones in the front of your hips. Feel them. And then wrap your thumbs around to the sacrum, to the back of the pelvis. And then just start to tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards, nice and slow. Being mindfully curious about what is the sensations that occur as you flatten your back to the mat. And then as you tip the pelvis away from the face to bring the low back away from the mat. And so we all just probably tend to gravitate towards one position or the other in our pelvis, like habitually. And it's a spectrum of depth in which you tilt your pelvis forward or backwards. But just inquire, what way do you think you habitually tilt your pelvis? Is it forward, and so that the low back feels tight, the belly comes forward, or maybe you tend to tuck your tailbone and then the it's like you're tucking your tail and the hips push forward. And then find a neutral pelvis, what feels like it's neither tucked or sticking out. And then from that place, bring your arms alongside the body, and we're going to come in and out of bridge pose. On an inhale, press the feet down, lift the hips up, and sweep your arms up overhead and back to the floor behind you. On the exhale, rolling down the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. Draw your tummy in, hips come down, arms come alongside the body. Just like that, rolling up the spine, arms sweep up and back. Please gaze at the ceiling as you do this, just so that the neck doesn't feel hurt. And then moving up and down. Drawing your chin towards your chest as you do this. So just we'll get a stretch in the back of the neck while we do it too. Keep moving. And the tendency can be that maybe the toes come off the floor as you lift the hips, maybe the knees go wide. I'd like you to try to counter that. Keep energetically drawing the knees in so that the thighs are parallel and ground through all corners of the feet. Feel the strength of your glutes, the strength of your hamstrings. Let's do two more. And then rest. Knees together, take the feet wide. So now your knees are resting against each other or your thighs. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Inhale into the space underneath them. Open the mouth, slowly let it out. Let's do that once more on your own. And then once again, give yourself a hug. And you might like stillness, or some people enjoy a little rocking side to side. What feels nice for your low back today? Okay, this next kind of vinyasa, this movement, is to help us strengthen our core, but also to give us a stretch behind our legs. So I'm going to have you hold onto your left knee or the back of the thigh if that's more reachable, and firm your tummy up. Draw your low belly in and draw the circumference of your waist in to support your organs. On a in, let me see. Okay, on an inhale, extend your right leg and hover it just above the floor. Your right foot is flexed, which means the toes peel up towards the knee. On the exhale, swing your straightened right leg towards the ceiling. On the inhale, slowly lower that right leg and let it hover once more. Tummy's in. And then the exhale, drawing right knee into your chest. Now you're once again, both knees are hugged in. That's the flow, and I'll talk us through it. Inhale, extend just the right leg. We're working. Hover it horizontal. Exhale, vertical. Feel the stretch behind the back of the leg. Inhale, horizontal. Hover, tummy in. Exhale, bend it in. Inhale, horizontal. Exhale, vertical. Inhale, horizontal. Tummy in. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, horizontal. Exhale, vertical. Let's stay here. Feel the stretch. Few breaths. Toes peeling back towards the kneecap. And some of you, maybe the hamstrings feel so tight that the knee has to bend or the leg goes vertical on like a more diagonal line. That's totally cool. What matters is, are you breathing? Do you feel a stretch? And now let's work the right ankle. So slowly rolling the right ankle in circles and then other direction. And then slowly point, very gentle, and then flex. If you know you tend to cramp up in the feet, go a little extra easy. And then hug the right knee into the chest. Let's do the second side. So left side, tummy in. Inhale, left leg horizontal. Exhale, vertical. Feel the stretch. Inhale, horizontal. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, horizontal. Exhale, vertical. Inhale, horizontal. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, horizontal. Exhale, vertical. Inhale, horizontal. Exhale, knee in. Twice more. Horizontal, inhale. Exhale, vertical. Inhale, horizontal. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, horizontal. Exhale, vertical. Stay here. Feel the stretch. Toes peel back towards the kneecap. So we're feeling a stretch in the left leg, but what's going on in your hands and your face, your shoulders, your breath? And then let's work the ankle. Circles. And other direction. And a nice slow point and flex and point and flex. And then bending the knees in. Give yourself a hug once more. Big breath in. Out through the mouth. Okay, let's flip over. Come onto your belly. If you have like a super tight back, and when you come into back bends, you know your back spasms, please have a blanket underneath your belly. That's going to help you out. Hopefully it helps you out. Okay. So just take a moment in crocodile pose. You're going to stack your palms, take your feet wide, wider than the mat, and then rest your forehead on your palms. You're going to let your belly soften, breathe deep. I'm not going to put my hands on my palms because my microphone will get weird. So just imagine I'm doing that if you're looking up for cues. And then soften your butt, soften your belly, soften your pelvic floor. So I want you to imagine that you have a balloon in your belly, in your low back, and every time you inhale, it expands. And every time you exhale, it contracts. Just naturally, like you don't have to contract your tummy as you do it. And I encourage you to listen to these words as you do it. I thought for the next handful of classes, I would read one of the foundations of mindfulness from John Kabat-Zinn's book, Full Catastrophe Living, which is fantastic if you're looking for a book to support you in times of stress. So the first foundation in mindfulness is non-judgment. He says, mindfulness is cultivated by paying close attention to your moment-to-moment experience while, as best you can, not getting caught up in the ideas and opinions, likes and dislikes. This orientation allows us to see things more as they may actually be rather than through our own distorted lenses and agendas. To adopt such a stance towards your own experience requires that you become aware of the constant stream of judging and reacting to the inner and outer experiences that we are all normally caught up in, and learn how to step back from it. When we begin practicing paying attention to the activity of our own mind, it is common to discover and to be surprised, even astonished, by the fact that we are constantly generating judgments about our experience. Take one more big belly breath in. Let it out through the mouth. And now with your next exhale, please draw your tummy in and away from the mat. So we're activating the core, walking your feet about hips width distance apart, and then bringing your hands to the mat on either side of your chest. Bend your elbows and point them towards the sky. Keep your forehead on the mat. And if this is painful for your hands, you can bring your arms alongside the body instead, and you'll just lift your arms. We're going to come in and out of half locust. So on an inhale, you're going to lift your chest and head and just your right leg. On your exhale, you're going to bring your right cheek to the mat and lower your head to the mat. Your right cheek and your foot back to the mat. On the inhale, lift your left leg, chest, head, gaze to the top edge of your mat. On the exhale, left cheek to the mat, leg to the mat. That's what we're doing. Keep moving with the breath. Right leg lifts, chest, head, gaze just to the top of the mat. Exhale, one side of the face to the mat. Inhale, left leg, chest lifts. Exhale, lowering. The slower you go, the more you're going to get out of this. You want to go nice and slow. So really also gives you an opportunity to become mindfully aware of what muscles am I using? How does this feel in my back? Right? So if it does feel tight in the back, or maybe you ease off of it a little bit. So not important about how high you go, but the quality of the sensation. And so I'm going to invite you to just keep moving with the breath, or some of you might find that you'd enjoy just pausing with one leg lifted, chest lifted. So the idea here is we're contracting our upper back to broaden our chest. We're strengthening our glutes, and the back leg that's lifted is straight. You've got about 5 more rounds of breath of either moving with the breath or pausing for a few rounds of breath on one side or the other. And then the next time you inhale, just lift your chest, leave your feet on the floor. Exhale, press your hands down into the mat and come into hands and knees. We're going to come in and out of child's pose and cow pose. And if you're being on your knees is painful, then just hug your knees into your chest for this. Okay, so you just flip over and come onto your back, hug your knees in. If knees and hands is okay for you, you're going to inhale, broaden your chest. Here's your cow pose, lifting head and tail. Exhale, round your back, nice and slow. Bring your chest to your thighs, forehead towards or to the floor, elbows to the mat. On the inhale, come on back up, hands and knees, come into your back bend. Exhale, lift your spine towards the ceiling. Bring your chest to the thighs. Let your head go. Once more, on your own. And then we'll meet in child's pose. Again, if this isn't comfortable for you, please just stay on your back, knees hugged into chest. Wherever you are, breathe into your low back. Expand the low back as you inhale. And maybe exhale out the mouth if that feels good. Let's do this for 3 more rounds. Staying in one place. And then stay in child's pose and walk your hands to the left of the mat. stretching the right side of your body, or particularly the right side of your trunk. And then move back through center. Let's stretch the left side of our trunk. So even as we move through our practice, you might notice, oh, I like this posture. I don't like this posture. You could use this yoga practice as an opportunity just to step back and be like, oh, I have preferences. That's okay. But what's happening now? And then come back through center. And we're going to start to use our chair. So I'd like you to come on up to stand, locate your chair, locate your strap or belt. And you're going to bring your chair to the top of your mat with the seat facing you. And then you can just leave the strap on the back of the chair. It'll be there if you want it. Pause for a moment. Stand up nice and tall, broad chest. Drop your chin towards your chest. And then rolling left ear to left shoulder as you inhale. Exhale, roll chin to chest. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. And then inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Pause here and either just enjoy the stretch like so, or maybe extend your right arm out to the right. Bring your left hand to the just behind your ear, your top ear, and gently press your skull into your hand. So you're not pulling on your head, you're just pressing, your like skull is coming up to meet the hand. And again, the hand is right behind that right ear. One more breath. Release, chin to chest. Other side, right ear to right shoulder. Maybe you just hang out here. Maybe you add the arm and the hand behind the left ear. Head meets that hand. Press up into the wall of the hand. Please don't tug on your head. Slow breath in. And then exhale, release. Rolling the chin down to the chest. And head lifted. Okay. So, hands on the seat of the chair, about shoulder width distance apart. Walk your feet back. And we're going to do a downward dog with our chair. So, I'd like you to have your hips over your heels. And to do that, you might find you've got to bend your knees. That's totally cool. We're doing this to help extend our spine, to broaden our chest, to get a nice stretch in the arms. So straight elbows, straighten those elbows. And in fact, I encourage everyone to bend your knees and then send your butt back. How far can the butt get? Let's lengthen that spine. You could play around with lifting the head or letting the head hang, what feels good. Let's take 2 or 3 more breaths here. Reach, reach, reach. Think downward dog in this posture. And then walk forward. Stepping your right foot forward, left foot back. We're going to come into a high lunge. The chair's here if you need it, if you feel a little wobbly, but I'd like you to come up on to the ball of your back foot and bend your front knee. So that's your right one. Here I am in this lunge. Some of you might decide you want to just keep your hands on your hips. You can do palms together at heart. Find that neutral pelvis I was talking about earlier. So if you know you tend to tuck your tail, send your butt back a little bit. If you tend to send your butt back, why don't you lengthen your tail towards your heels? We're looking for a stretch in the front of the left hip. And if you'd like more sensation, you'll extend your left arm up towards the sky, just straight up. Try to straighten your back knee best you can. Of course, it probably won't straighten. Maybe it won't. Pull your low belly in. chin slightly down, head back, and explore turning up the corners of the mouth. See how that feels on the mind. How does that feel in the face? Fabulous. Reach down, grab the rope or the strap, step your back foot, I'd say about 6 inches forward, toes turned out. We're going to come in and out of pyramid pose. I like to use a strap even though I can do a bind, but if you like a good old fashioned interlace of the fingers, go ahead. Um, I have my hands on the strap about shoulder width distance apart, palms facing the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. And then try to rip that strap apart behind you. We want to stay very strong in the legs. It's going to help us uh, get the stretch. So on an exhale, you're going to hinge from your hips forward any amount. On the inhale, you're going to come up just like that. And as you're doing this, please move your shoulders away from your ears. Please broaden your chest and roll your inner arms towards the chair in front of you. And then we're going to pause in pyramid pose, Parshvo Tanasana. Long spine, heart reaching. If you love this bind, if you're really enjoying it, stay here. You can also just release and then just have the hands on the chair and enjoy the stretch in the back of the front leg. We'll take 2 more breaths. So walk your left hand forward a little bit. So it's just in front of the left shoulder on the seat. Bring your right hand to your hip. And then I'd like you to very mindfully inquire, what's it like as you lift your right shoulder? Sending your hips slightly to the left. Very slowly. We want to have a broad chest as we come into this. We're inquiring, how can we find sensation in that outer right hamstring and the outer right hip, maybe the outer waist, right side. Last breath. And then release. Come on up. Let's switch sides. Step left foot forward, right foot back. Let's find the lunge. Come up onto the ball of the back foot. So all toes are pointing straight forward. Front knee bends, back knee works towards a straightened position. Hands to hips. Where's your pelvis? Is it neutral? You might stay here or palms together in front of the heart. Or if you'd like a deeper stretch, you want to work on balance today, reach your right arm up towards the sky. As you straighten the back leg, again, front leg's bent. And we want to make sure that the knee of the front leg stays over that heel. Pull your tummy in, broaden your chest. Give yourself a smile. Last breath. And then reach down, grab your strap if you want to use it. Hop your back foot about 6 inches forward. Land the heel. Take your bind or use the strap. Rip the strap apart behind you to help open the chest. And then as you exhale, hinge forward any amount. Inhale, come up. Keep moving with your breath. And so even though both legs are straight, if you know you're someone who tends to lock your knees, I encourage you to slightly micro bend the knees. particularly that front leg. We don't want to put too much pressure on that knee as we come up and down. Instead, it's good to use the muscles of the legs to support this posture. And then we'll pause. Maybe we'll pause in the bind, arms behind us. Maybe you'd like to just release the strap and bring your hands to the chair. We've got about 2 to 3 more rounds of breath, stretching the front leg as we send the hips back. Okay, walk your right hand just in front of your shoulder on the chair in front of you. Left hand to hip, exhale. And as you inhale, slowly lift the left shoulder, maybe leaning back. Pressing that left foot into the floor as you reach your hips away from that foot. And then slowly come on out of it. You're going to step forward. You can move your chair just off to the side for a moment. We're going to give the chair a break for a second as we come onto the floor. And I'd like you to sit up on your roll. Find that roll and have a seat on it. Okay, you're going to extend your left leg out to the left and step your right foot out to the right. So if you could visualize like half baby when you're on your back and you grab a hold of your feet, it's like you're doing half happy baby and you're seated upwards. You're in a seat. Okay. And then just pausing here. I like to grab a hold of my inner ankle, the right inner ankle, and then just kind of like pull my chest away, and it kind of gives a nice fascial stretch in the right arm. It also helps me broaden my chest. We're looking for sensation in that right groin, opening up the right groin. We could get a neck stretch here too as well, actually. You got to keep your chest broad though to get into the neck, so keep moving the shoulders back. And then exhale, chin down. And inhale, slowly roll your left ear to your left shoulder and pause there. Lean away from the legs. Good. Chin to chest. Lifted head. Let's do the second side. Bend left knee, extend right. Reach through, grab a hold of the ankle or some part of that leg if that felt nice for you. Sit tall. And maybe lean back, get that stretch through the left arm. It can help pull the left shoulder away from the left ear. Chin towards chest. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Leaning back, leaning away from that left foot. Can soften the jaw, close the eyes if that feels nice. And we want our pelvis tilted forward. So kind of like you're sticking your bottom out in this position. It will probably help you feel more sensation in the groin. And bring the head back through center. And let's come into cobbler's pose, regular old cobblers. So soles of the feet together, knees wide. You're welcome to stuff a block under either knee if that feels good. And here, I encourage you to kind of explore what feels nice for you today. Some of you might enjoy just folding forward and rounding. You could fold forward with a broad chest and see how that feels. You could also bring your hands behind you and turn it into a back bend, turning the fingertips away from each other and lifting the heart. But wherever you choose to be, keep breathing. Um, and we'll do about 3 to 4 rounds of breath here. Okay, slowly come up. I want you to grab your chair and just move it in front of you. So hopefully it's within reach and you don't have to move because we're all set up pretty nice. You're going to grab your chair, bring it close, have the seat facing you, and we're going to use the seat of the chair as like a bolster. Um, I'd like you to come into Janu Shirshasana. So you're going to extend your right leg forward, and the sole of the opposite foot is just going to hang out on the inseam of that leg. This is going to be a more yin posture, so don't worry about having muscular energy in the legs. What I would like you to be sure that you can do is scoot forward until like the flesh of your bottom is behind you, and your pelvis, if it was a bowl of soup, the soup would be spilling out between the legs. So we want the rear sticking back, the pubic bone coming down, and then go ahead and just support yourself with the seat of the chair. You can stack the forearms, let your head rest here, and adjust, of course, how close the chair is to you for the position. I do ask that whatever you're doing, you want to try to, so this is head to knee pose. You want to try to get your head over your knee. It doesn't matter how close it is to your knee, but just have it hovering over the knee. And then once again, visualize that balloon in your belly and low back. Inhale, inflate that balloon. Exhale, let go of something, anything. So in John Kabat-Zinn's book, Full Catastrophe Living, he also goes on to say how our judging mind, like we just go through our life like judging good, bad, like even people will be like, oh, this person's good, this person's bad, just according to experiences that you've had with them, right? Or how they make you feel. And so he says, this habit of categorizing and judging our experience locks us into this automatic reaction that we're not even aware of, and that often has no objective basis at all. These judgments tend to dominate our minds, making it difficult for us ever to find peace within ourselves or to develop any discernment as to what may actually be going on inwardly or outwardly. It's as if the mind were a yo-yo going up and down on a string of our own judging thoughts all day long. If you doubt this description of your mind, just observe how much you're preoccupied with liking and disliking during, say, any given 10-minute period as you go about your day. Slowly transition to the second side. Bend the right knee, extend your left leg. And adjust the chair as needed so that once again your head is over your knee as you're supported by the seat of the chair. Let go of any muscular engagement in the legs and soften the belly. Breathing in through the back body, breathing out through the front body. And so the idea with mindfulness is that we're not trying to stop our preferences, but we're just creating space. We're creating space around our preferences, not taking them so seriously. It's important to know what we like and we don't like, but it doesn't have to rule our entire experience. Stay here for one more round of breath. And then slowly come up. You're going to move your chair away. Come onto your back and have a block nearby. Coming into supported bridge pose. Lifting the hips and placing the block underneath your bottom. Okay, so we want to make sure that the block is not on the low back. You'll know because it'll be awkward. Technically, it's underneath your butt crack. Let your arms come alongside the body and just walk your shoulder blades flat and together underneath you, moving them away from the ears. And I find if I walk my feet a little wider, I can allow, it helps my thighs move towards each other in this position, and then I don't have to work so much to stay in this supported bridge posture. Adjust your head so that your throat feels open and the back of your neck feels long. So maybe pointing the chin slightly towards the ceiling. Close the eyes if that feels good. Soften your face. And continue to stay soft here. We're just draped across this block. Each belly breath helping lengthen the front of the pelvis, the hip flexors. Each exhale, releasing, softening. And so scan through your body. Is there anywhere that you're like gripping or holding? Any way you're trying to still support yourself muscularly? Either adjust the pose so you don't have to do that, or just simply invite that area to relax. In particular, the neck and the head, let them release to the floor. And then you're welcome to stay in this supported bridge posture. Or if you'd like to, get a little bit more of an inversion in your practice today, you'll just draw one knee into the chest, then the other, feet are off the floor, and then slowly extend the legs over the hips. Knees may be bent. That's totally fine. We're just inviting the blood out of the feet, back into the pelvis, back into the heart, the brain. If you are on your cycle, just stay in bridge pose. And then we're going to slowly bend the knees, bringing them back to the floor, preparing for relaxation pose. If your low back tends to be tight, please stuff a block under either thigh or back of the knee. It's going to help give the low back a little bit more slack. Just checking that the ears are away from the shoulders, the chest is broad, softening the face, softening the jaw. And with non judging, one of the foundations of mindfulness, um, we're not trying to change anything, we're just being present to what is here. Maybe even inquiring if you can find meaning in even the painful parts or the stressful parts. Is there meaning to be had? Stay with your breath, stay with your body. If you'd like to stay longer in relaxation pose, please do. But if you only have an hour, uh, we'll start to move and coming back. So wiggling the fingers, deepening your breath, wiggling the toes. And then take a nice big morning stretch. Reach your arms overhead. Long body. Reach, reach, reach as you inhale. And then with an exhale, gently draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself one more hug. Maybe saying thank you. Thank yourself for coming to yoga today. And then rolling to one side. Come on up to a comfortable seat. We'll meet with our palms together in front of our heart and just feeling into your experience currently. See if you can avoid the good, bad, whatever's in between. Just being here. And if you'd like to dedicate your practice to someone special, visualize them now. Like imagine you could send whatever goodness that you cultivated in your practice today, you could send it out to them on an exhale. Who would it be? And then we will prepare to send it out by taking a big breath in, send it out. See them feeling spacious, relaxed, present.
Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste.